Hello. Happy Thursday. How are you guys? I keep forgetting move my table, the camera moves. Sorry about that. It's the only camera I have that's touching the surface I'm working on, and it actually does count. So, hello. I am definitely I feel like I'm in not so secret pajamas today. Hey, Beverly. Nice to see you. I went super casual. I've made these pants yesterday. I'll show you the fabric. That's my fabric of my pants. You can't really see them. But I just made some pants number one in this really nice linen because I wanted to do a couple videos. One of them will launch this afternoon. And then I was like, I don't really have a shirt to go with these. So I put the shirt on that I made to go with the that eyelet, what was that, by Ellen Mason. It was like a little jumper. Like an old school jumper. Pinafore style. What the heck the name was that? Anyway, I made this to go under that so I never wear it out. So thankfully it doesn't have any stains on it. But I feel super comfy. Plus our power's out again for fire prevention. So casual everything. You are, Penny? Nice. Any tips? Do you have any tips for us on cutting or sewing? Or fitting? This is not my size. I'll just tell you guys right now because these are for a specific person through Hart's Fabric. So, but Hart's Fabric did provide us with the fabric and the project, which is awesome because I know a bunch of you have wanted to see the Hudson pants made, and I didn't have the pattern, and I didn't have any plans to make it. So Hart's heard us and said, "Oh, we have one of those. We can send it to you." So they sent it to us, and it's in this. The fabric is this. I keep wanting to say bamboo fleece, and I know that's wrong, so that's why I don't say anything. It's hemp fleece in sage. It's actually really pretty. It looks a little dull on the camera, but I would not call this sage. I would think most people would call this olive green or army green. Hey, Malin. Nice to see you. How are things in Sweden? I liked your, what was the top called? Not top, but like dress that you made. I wanted to say tall something, but that's the, that's the company. That's the initials of the company of the pattern. You're wearing yours too, Nicole? I feel like this is like the perfect work from home pants. Except for the pants I'm wearing. I feel like I'm wearing some pretty nifty ones too. They're super comfy. In fact, I was thinking I don't need a work from home wardrobe. I need a non-ironing go bag wardrobe. So I'm going to do a capsule thing like that. So anyway, this is the hemp fleece. The color is called Sage. And the number on their website is 95284. 95284. And then she also sent some black bamboo rib. It's I think personally this is called a 2x1. I'm not sure. It might be a 1x1 rib, but it's pretty chunky. It's definitely not 1x1 rib. You can't really see the rib on here, but it is a rib. And this will be the accent, so it'll be for the ankle cuffs, the waistband, and a little trim on the pockets. And I'm going to fully serge this whole pair of pants. I don't know. I might use my single needle machine occasionally. The tall hoodie dress. Yeah. Thank you, Mullen. Yeah, that's awesome. It looks so like utilitarian in such a great way. Oh, really? Penny. You had to shorten them. Yeah, well, that's funny, Beverly. The photo, in my opinion, looks really low cut as well. I'm sorry I don't have the actual pattern envelope, and it's very overexposed. So can I get that for you? It's like a sweet spot. We can pull it up on the website if you want, but so that waistband, the cuffs, and that little pocket detail are going to be in this rib. So I thought so too, Beverly, especially by the model wearing them on the cover. I just compared them to the pattern I'm wearing now, and admittedly this size is probably 2 sizes or more smaller than what I made, and they didn't look that low cut. So I'm not sure if that's just an optical illusion. She's so slender maybe, but I feel you, Beverly. Yeah, okay, so Nicole's confirming they're low rise. You added 3 inches. Holy smokes. Okay, so so someone told me, was it you, Beverly, that told me that they are updating this pattern to offer a higher rise version? Because someone did tell me that. I'm sorry I have trouble keeping track. I get messages from you guys in like 6 different places. So it kind of gets hard to keep track of who they're from sometimes and where I saw it, especially depending on the time of day I saw it, because sometimes I see it when I'm right before bed or right when I'm getting up. So, Michelle, right? Michelle, you are binge watching my videos right now, and I really appreciate that. You're commenting on all of them. It's awesome. Okay, yeah, it was you, Beverly. Finally got that right. Beverly, I'm working so hard to not confuse you and Barbara. It's so unfair to you guys. You guys are both wonderful, but you're individuals. So, all right. So, the fabric I was sent is slightly damaged by the sun. It's not slightly. It's actually pretty damaged by the sun. So I'm going to try my best to cut around them because of that. And I think I figured out a cutting layout last night that's actually going to eliminate most of the sun damage. And you can't see it yet because I have the pattern pieces here. I don't want to forget how I got it. So, Michelle, thank you. The designer mentioned a higher rise hack. Oh, a hack. Okay. Yeah, me too, Nicole. I squat down a lot to like pet my dogs, pick junk up off the floor. I sit on the floor a lot, and I do not like things slipping below my underwear. And I feel like there's definitely things I wear that do, or I'll start like picking things in the yard or garden and trimming things, and hope there's, at least I live where there's nobody. My poor family though, So anywho, how are you guys? What are you guys making? Are you guys making anything? That what did we make last week? The copper colored Madison cardigan. Okay, that was pretty stunning. That turned out really great, and credit to that pattern, because that pattern did all the work, right? It turned out so good. And when I took the pictures for it, I did those by myself with my tripod, which I brought home with me on the little like bridge there, and it was the fastest photo shoot I ever did. That jacket just does all the work. I feel like that's the thing you want to wear when you want to feel like really dressy without feeling dressy. Hey Patty, how's it going? Nice to see you. So that was a good make, and I have to send it back. That's the funny thing. I don't even get to keep it, but I kind of want to make one now after seeing those photos and maybe making a shorter one. It's not a very functional length for me, so yeah, it was so good. And what I think is really funny, I think the contrast to how I usually dress really made an impact as well, because I don't usually dress like that, especially that stylish. And I just copied how the model wore it on the cover, because I was like, well, I don't really have a whole lot that goes with this color, even though I love this color. The other color I love is this mustard color. I love this color, and I've literally asked people in stores, can I wear this? And they're like, oh, sorry, no, you can't wear that. Like, it looks terrible on me. So I'm always looking for times I can wear it. So yeah, that's exactly it, Beverly. You hit it right on the head. Yeah, because I just put on this shirt. This is the shirt I have on under it. And my ash jeans, which are black. The only color, I only have one pair of jeans, and you guys all convinced me I was going to get a lot of use out of those black jeans, and you were absolutely right. I need to trust you guys more often. I really could use some fashion sense. And I put on the only pair of Danskos I never ever wear, because I didn't realize they were taller than my normal Danskos. I don't really wear heels, even though all my Danskos are like platforms. I wear those a little bit because they work the best for my foot issues, and those are a little tippy for me. So it was great. It was fun. Anyway, Hudson pants. So let's go back to cozy, the in-home version. So, yeah, Oh, you know what? I think I'm missing comments. Let's change the top chat. So, I bet I'm missing comments. And then everybody. Let me just surf the comments here. Oh, Malin said, what's the hype about the Hudson's? Is pattern really the best jogger pant out there? I actually don't know if it is. Someone brought up a another jogger that's not so low cut. So maybe someone will remind us what that was. So let's see. You're doing the Fairfield. Awesome. Where's the shoulder seam? About my comment about the shoulder seam? Yeah, so Beverly, I don't know if you caught that pattern was actually intended for knits, and Hart's accidentally sent me woven, and they were like, oh, we're so sorry, we just noticed that's for woven. And so I just, they were like, just do your best. And so I tried to convert that to a woven in the simplest possible way, just in case some of their customers were like, but you showed it in this fabric and I really wanted it in this fabric. How do I do that? So I tried to convert it in the simplest way. And considering I didn't sew a bunch of prototypes for that fit area, which is a really tricky area, it actually went really, really well. And I, like the short version is, I don't really want to say exactly how I did it because it would shortchange all the little steps and I wouldn't want someone to use what I say here as the steps to do it. But the short version is I did cut an extra large for the circumference. I didn't keep it extra large all the way through. I was going for a size medium, so I cut an XL because there's no ease in that garment. And I had to even do some on the fly adjusting while I was sewing it. I could tell that it wasn't going to fit into the armhole, even though I should have checked, but I didn't. So that is why those shoulder seams are falling off of me. So, and I think if I were to keep that and adjust it, that garment would actually be okay if I were to do a seam down the center back to pull in the shoulders. Because that garment is actually very forgiving. There's hardly any seams on it and it's not lined. You could just pop out some stitches in the hemmed neckline and then do a center back seam, even if you just did it as a dart to pull in those shoulders. So, but they were falling off of me a little bit, and I have pretty broad shoulders. They're pretty straight across. So, Elizabeth Suzanne patterns. I actually have never heard of those. The Georgia dress and shirt. Cool. Hi, Helen. Oh, nice, Helen. That's a good Christmas gift. So cozy. It's actually a really good idea. I should make these for my daughter. I swear she owns a pair of joggers identical to this that she bought. Okay, let's get to it. All right, so like I said, we're making the Hudson pants just in case you're new here. Sorry, it's a little overexposed. And by True Buys Patterns, we have a discount from Hart's Fabric. You can see it on the screen there, right here. And everything you need you can get from them on their website. This is the Hemp Fleece it's number 95284, and this is the sage. Look at the back of it. Look at the color on the back. It's so rich. So I don't know if you know that fleece is just French terry that they brushed the back of. So you can actually see in the selvage when you're looking at it that it doesn't have that fuzzy texture, and then they brush it and that's how it becomes fleece. So it's actually the same fabric. So you need some stretch in this. So you don't have to use fleece. You could use something else. You could even use like a bamboo, a really lightweight drapey fabric if you wanted. You just need to have, I think it said 40% stretch. I actually wanted to double check this because I was I'm not sure. This is the backwards way to do it. Not backwards as in wrong. I just mean like they're showing you the easiest way to figure it out. And I always figure it out a different way. So I was just going to double check this and how to figure it out. But you're going to stretch your fabric. And this isn't that stretchy. This is actually might not have 40% stretch. It probably does, actually. I don't know. We can check it. Here, let's try it. I'm so scared I'm going to lose my layout here, but I'm clever. I can figure it out again. It'll be okay. I even drew myself a picture. I'm trying to work around a sun damaged spot. Let's see. Can you see it now? Lexi, if you're watching, that was for you. I swear Lexi loves keeping me on my toes. All right, so let's see here. Can you see that? So let's see. We'll hold this. So it doesn't quite have 40%. I don't see why you would need that much stretch, but it is a very close fitting pant. They advise going up a size if you want it to be roomier. So yeah, right, Allison? That fabric store, you guys, when I went in and visited them, wow, it feels like a lifetime ago, but it was last summer. Like not the summer, past summer, but the summer before. I was so excited to be there in person shopping there because they have so much garment fabric. And I was really nervous to just approach them because I don't want to seem pushy, and I'm not. I think when I ask for sponsorships, people think I want something, and I actually don't. I just want a project, and then I return the project. I don't get paid. I don't get anything financially from them. All this is that it gives you guys another project to see that maybe I wouldn't have picked, or maybe I wouldn't have access to, or whatever. So that's all I'm looking for sponsorships, is for pattern companies and fabric companies to give me a project to do, and then I send it back to them and they get everything back if they want. Hart's lets me keep leftover fabric, and most of the time they leave me a tracing of the pattern as well. So, and I just make a photocopy of the instructions. So that is really all I get from it. But I was really nervous to bring it up because I emailed them ahead and I didn't hear anything. And I thought, yeah, they're probably not really going to want to do that. So I didn't want to talk. I didn't want them to know that was me. I just wanted to shop. And then I started talking to Allison there. She's super friendly and helpful. All of them there are super friendly and helpful and encouraging. And I just said, and so I brought it up and she was like, oh. And she got what I was trying to do. Like, she understood it. And she was intrigued. And she said she went to the back and she was like, Lexi, there's a gal up there. And she kind of described who I was. And she said, and she's picked out all the good fabrics. And I thought that was so funny because I'm like, wait a minute. It's so hard not to pick out anything good there. Like, it's all good. It's like you couldn't not do that, So it was really funny that's what they liked my picks, So I was like, oh gosh, well, that's great. So it's really hats off to them for having the really great fabric. Oh, right, Beverly. Yes, exactly. The online cardigan. Yeah, you could. Yeah, someone commented they can't wait to see how I hemmed that cardigan. They're going to be really disappointed how easy it was. No, Allison, no. No, but at least it shows that you guys are watching and buying from them, which probably lets them feel better about sending me more projects, right? So if they see people using the code, then they are going to want to keep sending us projects, right? So I guess that's what we get in return for it, and it is really nice. And honestly, I really love dealing with them as a fabric store because I haven't had any pattern companies except one offer that to do a sponsorship for us, and that was apparel pattern company, and we did the zip fleece hoodie last year. I think a lot of pattern companies are really nervous about doing this. I'm not sure what it is, if they think I'm going to want money or whatever. Maybe they don't want a sample that they didn't sew. I would understand that. I've been accused 3 times of that by pattern companies that I was going to give away their pattern for free to you guys. And so they didn't want me to sew for them. 2 of them I didn't. I was like, oh, screw you. Because that was really offensive to me. Like, literally, that's a very offending thing to say to me. And, hello, Sydney. So, I don't ask pattern companies anymore. And I really haven't asked, to be honest. I really haven't asked for sponsorships that much. I put it out there, but if they're not looking, they're not going to see my call to that. So, really, it's on me, you know. So, yeah, I think they're getting a good deal, but you guys get a project. And it doesn't come out of my pocket, which is great. They even pay for the shipping back to them. They're very generous. Hart's is really awesome to deal with. I really like them. So let's sew for them. Let's do it. Hey, Nancy. Oh, a boiled wool jacket. I've got one over here on the hanging up. I did the Wixton Howery in a boiled wool. I love that thing. I was just looking the other day like, ooh, it's almost the season. It's my Mr. Rogers sweater. I put it on when I get here, and then I leave it here. And it's super cute. Like, I kind of wish I get to wear it in the world, but I actually love that it's here, too. So, it's such a nice, comfy jacket, and it's so easy to wear, and it doesn't get in the way. I like it. All right, so I've got this wide elastic waist, so it's going to go under this rib waistband. Really similar to what we did on the Alcott dress. Remember that? So, we just did that. We're ready. I'm going to serge these pants. I don't do that very often. I got some needles so I can do a 5 thread as well. I'm going to do 5 thread serging on this whole thing. 3/8 inch seams. Because there's no hems either. You do a cuff. So I've actually been trying to think, like, I don't really think there's anywhere I have to use my single needle machine. My straight stitch machine. Sorry, I call it a single needle because that's what it is. But I don't need to use the single needle. So yeah, Allison, they have a really amazing selection too. I agree with you. The Wixton Howery. Do you want to see it, Nancy? It's right here. So, oh shoot, I've been hanging it up too long. I gotta fix that. This, I forgot to put a loop in this one. So here's my Wixton Howery. So I did an unlined version and a lined version. How does the pattern come? Does it come lined or unlined? I can't remember. So it has this, ooh, it's really dirty because it's been by my door. So it's got little pockets. And I fully finished the seams with binding. You don't have to do that. It is kind of a nice touch, you know. And then I put an edging right here on the collar. I use this really cute train print. It doesn't have the train on it. Oh, this has been hanging up too long. I need to iron it a little bit. But it does have a really cute print. I love this thing. I got this from Blackbird. Not the print. Yeah, I think, Nancy, I feel like you were in this stream, but you don't really see the under. But yeah. This is a really great pattern. I don't find it to be the most flattering as far as, because of the armhole. It's got that, you know, it is kind of boxy. And it does the lines there. There's no set-in sleeve armhole, but you know, you can't go wrong with how easy this is to throw on and sew up. And then the lined version I did in, I lined it in rayon, and then the outer was, I swear it was a viscous linen noil, but I got both fabrics from Needle Sharp, and I made a robe. And that one I remember to put the loop on so I can hang it up. So. But how does that pattern come? Does it come unlined? I can't remember what the regular version of that is, but they couldn't look more different from one another. All right. I keep saying let's get started, but let's actually get started. So, So like I said, we have this little sun spot to deal with. So I've kind of did a little bit of logistics last night to figure out how I could get around that for the most part. And I was thinking that even if I had to cut some of that sun damage on the pattern, if I did it in the inseam crotch area, that's like the least viewed spot, hopefully. So maybe that's my strategy. So I just need to make sure I remember to flip my pattern and get a left and a right and all that. So yeah, so Nancy, I agree. I'm not big into boxy either. I think my dream channel would be how to convert this pattern to the pattern that it could be. You know, like, but I feel like people would think that's really snarky. But, oh, you want a set-in sleeve on this? Let's add one, you know. Oh, that's cool. There you go, Nancy Mullen said that. Yeah. Okay, so let's make sure we get it on grain. I may have to monkey around with the grain line if I really want to avoid that sun damage. Apparently it sat on an ironing board for a little bit in the sun. This is the size 8. I didn't even look at the size chart. I'm just cutting the size she sent me. But I did look at the hashtag, which was really fun to see all the versions people make. And it's hashtag Hudson pants. Pretty simple. So I think one thing that you might easily get confused with on this pattern is the pocket opening and the rise are really similar looking. So just make sure you keep those straight. There's a lot of patterns that can be a little confusing on. So there's only 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. So make sure you don't nip in too far. If you're like me and you nip in. All right, so we have this one. So the next one needs to be face up. I'm going to cut each one individually. Look at the difference in color. So good. That camera might be a little better. I can't find the light bulbs to my box lights. Isn't that weird? I put them somewhere super, they're huge. They're like this big. I have one sitting here somewhere. And mine started flickering, so I was going to swap it for one of the other 2 that I have. And I can't find them because I'm so worried I'm going to break them. I know I packaged them nicely. And I must have put them in something I didn't label it. Yeah, I made it. So Nancy, the one I made as a robe is super drapey and long. Yeah. That's true, Penny. That's true. That is such a good point. Why am I thinking it's snarky then? And maybe I'm projecting that maybe I am being snarky. All patterns deserve set-in sleeves. It's my own personal crusade. I tell you, you guys are going to get so tired of hearing me talk about set-in sleeves someday. The other thing that my own other personal crusade is cutting fabric straight and on the grain. I think I'll ruin all of you because of that one. All right, so I just want to make sure we really have no room for error. So I just want to make sure, yep, I'll have 2 of the different kinds. Okay. We all know I can make that mistake. Oh boy. Getting a little off there. Nothing like cutting under a camera. Oh, whoops. So I have a video coming out today, and it is how to put elastic onto a waistband. We did that recently on the, what did I do that on? Oh, the pants number 1 that I made in the cat patchwork. So I made a dedicated video. 1, 2, 3. Weren't there 4 notches on this? Oh well. All right. So that it's all ready to go. I'll make it live after the stream. Okay, so we need these scraps for pockets. Alright, so now it's going to be the tricky. So I actually wanted to make sure I got the fronts without the sun damage. So let's see how I do on the back here. I've got 2 stripes. Oh, Nicole, I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but occasionally I don't rant very much. I can rant a lot. Like if you knew me in person, I will be a little more ranty, but on Instagram, I definitely show when my fabric comes crooked, and it really bugs me when most fabric you buy isn't cut on the grain. And by what I mean by that is they don't cut it on the cross grain. I don't know a single fabric store right now that does that except for the one I worked at in Humboldt. I'm sure they still do it, but I'm not sure. That's Fabric Temptations, and I don't even know if they have an online store. And it is, you know, if they are a little generous in their cut and they don't cut on grain, that's fine. But if they aren't, you lose inches. Like when I bought this fabric, you know, it was like this. It was the worst I've ever seen. I'm not sure why that is. And I even bought yarn dyes that weren't cut. Okay. So if you're buying for a specific project, you really can lose a lot. Okay, so where's my little cheat sheet? All right. So I did that. So this one was supposed to be wrong side up right here. Right? Let's see here. I think one of these is going to have the most. So right here, let's see. I think I can get one mostly without, but see, this would be right here on the inseam. That's not too bad, you know. I'm not sure about the grain line though. I feel like it needs to come here. I can actually see the grain line on this fabric, you know. But I may need to cheat a little bit just to kind of keep it off that fade mark. So yeah, that's kind of bad right there, but it's in the knees on the inside, right? Hello, Eliza. You can't hello. Yes, and I am such a devil's advocate too. I think it's confusing, Nancy. It's a sage hemp fleece from Hart, Nicole, Eliza. I'm reading the chat. Thanks, Nicole. Saw a video making Hudson pants where she did the lining out of a thinner material. She just make the pockets less bulky, but would work. Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, you know, when we looked at this pattern on Saturday on the stream, I erroneously thought the pockets were one layer. So yeah. And I think you could do that if you wanted to cut down on the bulk of the fleece. So I'm going to look at that. So yeah, exactly, Allison. They have an online blog, no sales. That's Fabric Temptations. I'm not surprised. You buy an extra half yard. See, the thing is, Nancy, this fabric was like $40 a yard. I didn't want to do that. I was already buying a little extra for shrinkage, you know. And I love this fabric store that I bought this from. I love their fabric selection and what they get a lot. So I just put up with it. My idea, this is what I think. I would love to know for sure. I hate this. It's really bugging me. This is what I want to do. I want to go like this. let's see how bad we are green wise. This isn't going to be too big of a deal, but still. My idea, when I saw this fabric in particular, I couldn't believe how bad it was. Like it looked like someone went like this. Chunk. Like that's how bad it was. Oh, Lexi just accidentally left it on her ironing board. These are for her friend. I didn't change the rise, Allison. I think what they use is a cutting machine. You know what I mean? Yes, Eliza, exactly. And a lot of times you can't buy a half yard. Yeah, exactly. So you can't even, like on those really expensive ones, you can't even like add that little bit extra. I saw a couple other questions I was going to answer. So for the rise, Allison, I didn't raise it. These are not for me. And I didn't say how to do it yet. Sorry. Let's go over that in a second. There is talk that they are adding some more, like an expansion to add a taller rise. But I don't know that officially. I don't know if that's official. I'm sure it is. Someone told us that. But then I think, Penny, did you say that there's a hack on their block? Someone might have said that there's a hack. I don't usually put these notches. I don't know why I am. I don't really need all these. Like, they're just matching notches. Okay. We have one more. This one's probably going to be the painful one because of the sun damage. So that's the worst I've got so far. That's not too bad. The sun damage is pretty bad though. So sad. You know? Maybe I could go up here actually. So if you really want a longer rise, you're going to add it here. Always add it up here. And so what I would do is, if you want to cut a muslin or something similar in a similar fabric, you can, and then figure it out. But I know that that's a lot of extra work. So what I would do is if you have any kind of pant that's similar, or even a woven pant is going to give you a really good ballpark. I would measure the front rise and the back rise and I would add them together and I'm going to tell you why, because your front rise may not be the same as this front rise and the back rise may not be the same as this back rise, but if you added them together, the total, they may be the same. This little line right here can really move around on a pattern. That's why we all hate fitting pants, right? So if you're going to compare something you already own, measure on the seam line, the front and the back rise, the total. Measure on your sewn pair of pants, and now measure to the finished waistline. This has an extra waistband that's attached with 2-inch elastic inside. And then whatever waistband you have on your other pants, or you can do the total. You can include the waistband. Just be consistent. If you include the waistband in your total rise of your finished pants, make sure you include the waistband of this, and you can do that by where'd the pattern piece go? Oh, it's over here. And you can do that by going like this. I don't want to lose any pattern pieces. Fold this piece in half, and then overlap it for the seam allowance, which is 3/8 and 3/8, so that's a 3/4 inch overlap like that. And now measure your total rise and do the same. Add this to the front as well. Do the same on your pants, and then see what you're deficient. And now add that to the pants. Now, there's a very good chance that you're going to either need to taper the pants a little bit when you get up to your natural waistline. And there's a chance also that you may not have needed to add as much in the front or the back. So I would add a little bit extra, and then I would do a little bit of fitting when you get there. I would pin them together and then because your pocket also is going to be affected. And then take them in, you know, at your center seams and your side seams a little bit, wherever it seams. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, exactly, Nicole. Yeah, make sure you move up your pocket. So just move this whole thing up, like right about this notch here. I'll do a little better tutorial at the end of the stream. So here, this is the pocket right here. So I would just kind of make a line here that's perpendicular to your grain line. Just move it all the way up to where you're gonna go. So. Oh no, Liza. Full X. I really like full X. Yeah, on the seam line, Sydney. That's what I said. Just measure on the seam line for sure. So I'll do a little tutorial at the end. I won't do an in-depth one just because I actually don't really know how these fit yet. All right. I think that this, I'm going to get this right here, but I think this fade line is less than this fade line right here. This one's darker. This, I don't have my light on, so you can't really tell. I use the well, I don't know if I use titanium. I just stick with the Olfa brand. I found those titaniums were great, and then they faded really quickly, but it just could have been what I was cutting. I cut too much. So at the time, I was cutting a lot, you know? So you just never know. I don't take my review for anything. All right, so let's see. Are we even close to being on grain? Oh, yeah, we're perfect. Dang, I thought that was like an inch off. Awesome. All right, so let's just do this. I'm going to line it a little bit more this way. And we're going to make sure this needed to be wrong side down. Right? Oh, there it is. Right here. Okay, just making sure I have a left and a right. I'm pretty sure this is view A, by the way. It doesn't say on the pattern pieces. I can't quite tell. I don't have anything to compare it to. So I think there's a shorter and a cropped and a regular view. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. You probably can't see it, but the this stuff right here, it's flaring up. Started cutting right into that. It's interesting, the seam allowance. I don't know if you can see this. It's actually shaped right here. That's interesting. Okay. Have I told you my really bad story, like cutting myself, Eliza? Because it was like a thing that anyone could do, and it was my blade was like this across the table. Wait, how was it? Was it like this? Yeah, it was like this, pretty sure. And I could barely reach it, and I reached across, and as I kind of barely got it, it caught on something on the table and pulled it open. I'll just end the story there. I don't want anybody to pass out. I actually almost did, but I could tell my assistant, Rayanne, was like, what? And I was like, no, just go away, just go away, just go away. He's got to pull it together. Give me a Band-Aid. All right, so let's put these together here. All right, and then let me cut out the contrast, and then I'll do a little tutorial on the rise change. Yeah, right, Penny? That's what we'll go with. I need to do the pockets too. So I like the idea of using a lighter weight pocket, but I actually think all you really need for your pocket is this one. And the reason is you finish the edge of the pocket opening with the trim. And if you're fine with the pocket, you know, your hand going in, and there's a seam right there, and you have like, it would be like this, right? So this would be your pocket opening. It'd have a little bit of rib trim right here. So let's say that this is the side seam of your pant right here, and that's kind of unbelievable, isn't it? Because it's curved like that. Here we go. Here's the side seam of your pant. Here is your, no, I'm doing this wrong. Here is the pant, right? You put your trim on, you serge it on, right? You could just stitch the pocket to the pant, one layer. You'd have a stitch line right here, but you'd have one layer of a pocket. So we could do that if we want. Otherwise, it's 2 layers because you have the top pocket as well. Yeah, right, Nancy? Yeah, my classic thing is where's my blade? This is my classic thing. It's closed, by the way. I just want to show you. This is my classic thing. Like this. And I get going so fast that I'll go like this. And I will nick my knuckles like that. It doesn't even hurt. I don't even feel it. And then I'll see a little I'm such a poster child for accidents too. I've got burns all over me right now. I've got this is my ironing arm. So, I'm so gross. I'm sorry. Oh man, such a klutz. I would love to say that I always close my blade, but I know someone will comment truthfully that I don't. Because I've had people comment passive aggressively on my channel to close my blade. Really, you should always close your blade. Like, really meanly. I'm like, I'm sorry. It really is the perspective. It's not as scary as it seems. I don't mean to scare you. I could cover stitch it exactly, Malin. Yeah, that's exactly what you could do. You could cover stitch it. You could top stitch it though too. You could just overlock that edge and then top stitch it. But yes. You just got the cover stitch, right? So are you looking for all reasons to use it? All right, so we'll cut all the pocket pieces and we'll decide together. I'm pretty sure. Oh, no mods allowed. No sewing fit. Oh, we got a hard no. All right. I'll just tell you how to do it. They never say no, so I was like, oh, I bet we can do that. Okay, so as long as these don't have the tie-dye on them, that's what we'll call it, tie-dye, right? We're okay. Let's see, I need 2 of you. Just trying to fit it into this fabric I already have chunked up, because, you know, that could be useful for something. Wait, oh, there it is. I was going to say, I just saw the selvage. All right. Oh, yeah. The steam comes straight out the front of that iron. Yeah, and I think, like, as far as, like, all my burns go, I iron a lot more than the average person, you know? I have a hair tickling me. Oh, there it is. Okay. So that's what, I don't really feel like I'm that klutzy. It's just, you know, more contact than most people. I'm going parallel to this. This is a selvage right here. And then I've got these green lines lined up on the fabric. So just in case that looks really crooked to you, it's actually not. And this is the top pocket. So it's the one that doesn't show. It goes under. All right. We need those. So now we're going to do the rib. Hey, Nicole. Who said, wait. Oh, Terry, hi. I was like, wait, you've already been here. Why are you saying hi? Okay, so now we have the rib knit, which might be a little hard to see on the camera. Yeah, Liza, I know what you mean. I looked at, we need this, and this, okay. I actually went to the fabric store the other day to get some needles. And man, shout out to Honey Run Quilters because they didn't have any of my serger needle in stock. And I was like, oh, this is so my fault. Because the other day I went to change my needle and I pulled out the old needle. I threw it in the trash. And then I couldn't find a package of needles in my thing. And I always have a package. And I kind of remember going, oh, you used to use your last needle. You need to remember to buy these. And I probably put the package in my stuff to remind myself, and then I lost it. So I went there. I couldn't really even do everything I wanted on the Alcott because I didn't have a second needle. So I could only use 3 threads. And so I was like, well, I absolutely have to have 2 needles for these Hudsons because I want to sew them 100% on the serger. And then they didn't have any in stock. And they were like, wait. We have an open package here somewhere. And they did. They had a package of Oregon needles in that style. And there were 7 left out of the 10. And they sold them to me. So they really saved me. I was like, oh, this is so my bad. But I really appreciated that. But when I walked in there, I was like, you're just going to look at one of these machines. Because I just am so like adverse to the idea of buying a machine right now. And I decided, I'm just going to look. And so I looked, and there was a Juki there, and it wasn't on. They just opened, and I didn't get a demo. I didn't do anything. I don't even know which one it was. But all the things it had on, I was like, oh, that sounds really good. It was $3,500. I didn't realize machines had gotten that expensive, like a regular home sewing machine. I'm going to start not, like, downplaying how affordable my Juki Industrial was with all the electronics. $1,800. You can get it without the electronics for a lot less, like half that. You can get it used for $300. So I'm gonna start downplaying that. Okay, this is cut 1 on the fold. I need 2 of these, and then I need 2 of these as well. So I'm not gonna cut this on the, well, I probably will, but I'm not a big fan of cutting really long straight things on the fold. I'm actually not very good at it, so. Yeah, the twin needles can be okay and not okay. Yeah, secondhand's a good idea. The machines right now are a high sought after item. Very, yeah, right, Sydney? Exactly. And this was just like literally, it was a Juki. It was as I was walking in. They had Janome. They have a few others. And you know, I'm a big fan of my Jukis. I know it. I know Bernina's and I know Jukis and I know Singers. That's about it. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to take a gander at this. It's like, oh my gosh. When I see people buying embroidery machines, I'm like, whoa. That's a commitment. Okay, a little note about the stretch for these. So sometimes patterns will have a grain line on them, and sometimes they have a stretch line. I don't know what the pattern pieces look like on this, but you can't tell, but this is a rib knit. So think of any hoodie or sweatshirt you have, and you know your cuffs have that fabric on the cuff that has the grooves in it, and they're perpendicular to the sleeve. That's usually a rib knit. This is a rib knit here, and the Stretch is perpendicular to the grooves of the ribs. So the ribs are going this way. This is the stretch. I mean, look at that. You can even see the elastic in there. It's kind of shiny. It's very nice. There's going to be less stretch going this way. Incidentally, you could make your joggers out of something like this. It would be a look. But it'd be cozy. I love rib knit. Rib knits are super soft usually and very stretchy. Really great return on their stretch. Meaning when you stretch it out, it goes right back to where it was. As opposed to that fleece. Fleeces don't usually have great return. If you stretch the heck out of it, it's going to come back, but it's going to be a little stretched out for a minute, you know? Yeah, right, Sydney? Yeah, Penny, exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was like, well, maybe I'll go to Meisner's because that's where I bought my Juki. No. I don't know how I feel about spending that much on a home sewing machine. I have to be honest. I don't want to say I'm frugal, but I'm very practical. I think if something gives you enjoyment, there's a tremendous amount of worth in that. And it's worth spending it on the thing that you're going to be the happiest with. Hey, Melinda. So I'm a big fan of that. But being someone that's always used my machines for a business purpose, it's really hard for me to consider buying a home sewing machine that I'll most likely use for buttonholes. Right, Penny? Exactly. Yeah, been great. No complaints. Exactly. I was honestly thinking, like, I wonder if, okay, who am I fooling? I gotta cut this on the fold. I was thinking, I wonder if I could get another industrial that's a zigzag. And then I was like, do I really want to have another industrial to have to move around? You've been bidding on a used embroidery sewing machine in Goodwill? That's awesome. What do you think you'll use your embroidery machine for? See, I asked this and everyone's all, when I asked that, they're always like, everything. And I was like, okay, I am sorry. I'm not doubting you. I love that response. That's like my favorite response. Yeah, you could embroider jeans pockets. You could embroider all kinds of stuff, you know, so I just don't think of doing it. Oh, wow. That was such a bummer, Sydney. Your thrift store 70s machine. Yeah, I'm telling you, Allison, I used to always buy the ones I would find at garage sales. Do you guys remember those Kenmores? They came in like avocado green and like a taupe color, same model. They may have had a third color, I don't know. I used to buy those anytime I saw them for $25 usually. And anytime a friend would say, I really want to learn how to sew, I'd be like, here you go. Sometimes I had 3 of those machines. They were really common to find in the late 80s, early 90s. This doesn't look straight. Do I check or do I just follow the pattern piece? I can't find my ruler. Where's my ruler? Here we go. Might be an optical illusion. That thing was such a little workhorse. It was all metal parts. It had this weird plastic cabinet that it sit inside of and the base. All right, so this waistband has a draw cord front, which I'm not going to be doing. Lexi didn't want that, and she forgot that that was an option, and she would apologize. She said, you know, I would have sent you the stuff for that had I thought of it. I have done incidentally, if you're doing a waistband that has the buttonhole with the drawstring, if you look at my first time I made the Caroline pajama bottoms by Closet, then Closet Case Patterns, now Closet Core Patterns. In the sewing video of those bottoms, I actually did do, I had the buttonhole there and I did this, so it might help you a little bit if you need that. Much love for the Kenmores. Yes. Yeah, see, my Bernina is, yeah, and my Bernina is geared towards quilting. I feel like that's what's going on for me. Oh, Nicole, that you mentioned pineapples all over school. Oh, he needs spoon flour. Have you shown him spoon flour? He just needs spoon flour. Let's just like make this a lot less effort for you. All right, I'm going to bundle these, and now we're going to talk about the rise. I'm going to leave this piece. Well, I'm not. I'm fine with this. Okay. So, I wish I had a pant pattern around that you could probably see a little bit better, but I did a little bit of paper here. Here we go. Dusty scrap paper. Yeah, they did a whole blog post of why they, I'm going to turn down the brightness, why they did that. Oh, wait. Is that better? Where's the... Where'd that go? Oof. That's not better. What happened? That was really weird. I'm getting this weird visual glitch on this. I'm going to try and get it again. Why am I getting this weird... There. Phew. That was really weird. I think I was just getting a little glitch. Okay. Oh, cute, Nicole. Being a, oh, the association with closet case. I kept wanting to say core closet, but I could see why they would just go with closet case. Okay. Yeah, it started out as a blog name. Yeah. Okay, so here's my little brief tutorial on raising your rise. I didn't really plan this, so let me think about what I want to do. I'm trying to think about a pair of pants here I could show you. Let's see. Do I have any pants here? No, I have a pants pattern here. So let's do that. Yeah, right, Sydney? That was really weird. Like, I was turning down the brightness and there was that weird hot spot, but I couldn't grab the window. Like the whole top half was missing of it. So I think there was just a glitch with it. So here's my pants number one. This is what I'm wearing right now. You can see I made a little draw or elastic waist. No, I didn't. Wait. Who? That was you, Sydney? Let's see. Jeans class. Wait. I don't see your question. Flat edge on the inseam of pants pattern pieces. You have to ask me again. I don't see it. Okay. I'll watch for it, Sydney. Maybe your color changed. You guys are a color for me. I have the live chat on too, so I'm not sure why I didn't see it. It was a while ago. Oh, it was a while ago. Okay, maybe it's up there, way up there. Sorry about that. Why is this over here? Look at that, 40 viewers. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I'm so casual today. I mean, I don't really dress that much, so. What is it? Okay. This is how live streams are. I get a little off track. So you can just yell at me and tell me, you stopped talking about that one thing. We really wanted to hear what you were about to say. Just yell at me. Okay, so I just made these, and the first time I made them in this cat patchwork fabric. And you can see I trimmed off the rise in those. And then I attached it to my pattern so I would remember the next time. I didn't trim it for the pair I'm wearing because I use really wide elastic. All right, where's your question? The little flat, take you to the point of the crotch. Is just because are you talking about the little flat spot right here, Sydney? Why is there that little flat spot instead of just taking it to a point at the crotch? Okay, so you can see Sonia took hers to the point here. And then True Bias did not. Both are correct. That little flat spot is only the seam allowance. So it's just extra fabric. So conceivably, you're basically, it's like looking at this folded back on itself. You see that? And when you're drafting it, as a pattern drafter, when you're drafting it, it actually doesn't get drafted so that it's flush with this edge when you fold it back, because that's not what the seam allowance is going to do. Not always, right? The sewists can do whatever they want with the seam allowance right here. So when you think of this seam allowance, you think of it being this line right here, right? So here it is. So when I think of a pattern, my brain is thinking of everything inside the seam allowance lines, right? Everything outside that line is the extra, right? It's what we have to work with when we're sewing. So usually this line would be like this. It would be about perpendicular to this. It would be more this shape like that. So that's just extra. Doesn't have to be trimmed off. It's just a nice little affectation. And if you were in production, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other if they're going to do that, because cutting that off in a production setting adds a lot of work. But it is kind of nice not having this little extra piece of fabric just sitting there. So it's really just because you're most likely, hey D-Mac, hey Violet, how's it going? Thank you. So it's just this little extra tail. So conceivably when you're going to sew these pants, you might be getting rid of that. You don't usually see it cut off unless the point is very extreme, like it's looking more like this. You would just lop that thing off. Hey Judith, nice to see you. Never apologize. Thanks for coming. So there's a lot of reasons why you'll see a shaped seam allowance. That's what that's called. That's why I was kind of puzzled why I saw it right here. I've never seen it on a side seam at a waist. And I think that it's a nice way of reminding you of your seam allowance rather than a notch. So sometimes you'll see pattern drafters will put a notch at their seam allowances here. You would never see that in production because it is too much work. It's too narrow right here to be accurate with that cutting machine. With laser cutters, not so much. Laser cutters can handle this kind of thing. We're in a different age than when I was, sewing and cutting. So, but this would just be a lot of extra work. And plus, when, the only time you would ever see this in production is if they're really trying to remind you the order of operations, because technically there's seam allowance here too, right? So would you want a double notch right there? That'd be kind of a hot mess, right? When you were sewing. So they will do it sometimes when they're like, we really want the sewists to go in a certain order. So they would just follow the notches. They would know, oh, I do this side seam first rather than doing that seam, and from the end that it's at, they would know. I'm kind of like talking in a broad way. There's a lot of little details involved, but that's just a shape that you can trim off, and it's there or it's not there. I trim it off myself when I do it. Anything that can cut down on the amount of fabric in there is great. But when I go to cut out the garment, do I really trim it off every time? Not really. Sometimes I do because it's easy, right? You just go zoop, zoop, and then if you think of it, you trim it off, right? So, okay. So anyway, we're talking about how to extend the rise of this pants. Now, this is the pants number 1. I'm going to try and give you apples to apples. Look, I just want to look at the sizing really quick compared to the sizing on this True Bias. So, oh, that's size chart in centimeters, inches, centimeters. Okay. So we're doing the size 8. So that's a 30 waist, 38 hip. So that would be the small in the pants number 1. All right. All right, so the small on this pant is this middle line. This is the back. This is the back. So let's just line this up here and see where we're at. Now, what I'm going to look at is this crotch line. That's, I think, the safest place to start. So Sonia's pattern has a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay. This one has 3/8, so let's see. We line that up on the point. Now, we're also going to draw a perpendicular line. I'm going to give you kind of a technical little thing here. Perpendicular. Right? Grain line pants is actually pretty important. Oh, full disclosure, this is a woven, this is a knit. You did, Judith? Do you love it? Louise, hello. I'm done cutting out the pants. I just thought I'd give like a brief informal tutorial on how to make the rise higher on these because they look pretty low. So that's what I'm doing. It's casual day. My power's out again. Okay, so I'm going to line this up. And it doesn't have to be on point to point because really we're just concerned about this, right? So now this pant here, it has a 3/8 inch seam allowance. It also has a waistband, right? So here we go. This is what I'm talking about. I just want to underscore why you really need to look at this apples to apples, right? All right, so now this waistband is right there. That's the top of this waist. Now, this had, does anyone remember what that, what is the elastic measurement on this one? Or what's the, I just want to see what the seam allowance is on the waist. Where is it? Okay, so the waistband is 1/4 and 1, so 1.5. All right, so that's the difference. And you can also see there's an angle. The angle is actually probably a little more true to how it's going to fit you. Your back is usually longer because of your bum. So this is actually the difference in the rise that I'm missing if I wanted these to fit just like these. Remember, these are woven, these are knit, but when we are talking about vertical stretch, it's a little less in most knits that you would use on the Hudson pants. So it's actually a really great place to start. So you could just say, all right, well, it's only, you know, what is that, like 7/8 of an inch different at the center back, and it's up to 2 inches different on the side seam. So how did I actually think that this pants number 1 fit me? Did I feel like they were a little short across the center front and my back side? Were they a little baggy on the sides of the front? Do they fit perfectly? And just kind of make your judgment there. You can straighten it out like this one is. You can keep the angle. And then you're just going to add what you're missing to this piece here. And just like you guys were saying earlier, you're going to want to probably do that about right here. Cut right here and raise this up. So just cut this off on the front and the back and make sure. So this is the side seam here, right? Make sure that wherever this line is below this pocket shape and below, doesn't matter if it's below this, yeah, you kind of want it to be above this line here. So find this seam line here. And we can do that by going from the bottom up. There's our notch. When you're doing adjustments like this, you kind of get into that whole thing of the 0, 0 point that we were talking about the other day, because that's kind of important. All right, so that's that line right there. So now is this line where I'm talking about cutting here above my rise right here? Can you see that? Let's see. So I'm going to take this little mark here and put it perpendicular to my grain line here, and it is. All right, so then I would cut and cut, and then I would raise this up how much you want, you know, using your apples to apples comparison or best you can, or ready to wear pair of pants. Because the other way you could do this is to take a total rise measurement, you know, measuring on the seam line, and then measure your ready to wear pants on the seam line, include the waistband if you want to do that, and then figure out like, okay, my ready to wear pants are 2 inches different in the total rise compared to these Hudsons, so I need to add an inch to the rise front and back, because that'll give you an inch here and an inch here, gives you your 2 inches. You split it. Unless you're like, I like things a little lower in the front, or I like things a little longer in the back, or maybe you're ready to wear pants, you're like, you know, these kind of are a little shallow in the back side, you know, or they're a little long in the front. You can kind of shift it. Try and think about it, even if you want to pin on your ready to wear where these are at, you know. I don't know. That's the way I look at that. So anyway, cut this, raise it up, and then blend your line. So, you know, let's say I did that on here. I'm going to stop using this marker. I don't want to ruin the points on those cute little washable markers. They're so handy. All right, so let's say I'm going to mark the grain line on here. I'm going to mark this line on here. I'm going to weight it so it doesn't move. Let's say we did this, okay? So here is this. Okay, and now let's raise it up. Let's raise it up an inch in the front and an inch and a half at the side. All right. Now you're going to put this line, and you're going to kind of slant it a little bit like that. And you want to stay on your grain line best you can, right? Because it will look like it's off. You see that? How it looks like it's off right there? But it's not. You're looking at this spot right here, okay? So now trace this. Trace this. Okay, trace it better than I'm tracing. All right. And now this looks really easy to blend. Done. This one right here, you're going to go like this. Blend that to this. It's okay you lose that. That's okay. Just blend it in. Boom. You're done. All right, and so you're gonna, if you did 1.5 inches here and 1 inch there, you're gonna have to do 1.5 inches on the side seam of the back so that your waistline is a nice smooth line. Because if you don't do that, say you do 1 inch and 1 inch on the back side seam and the center back rather than 1.5 inches on the side seam, you just lost the 1/2 inch here because you're gonna have to trim it off. You'd also lose some of your pocket opening, and you don't want that to happen. And you wouldn't want to lose it at the hem, because if this side seam is a 1/2 inch different than this one, and that 1/2 inch difference was supposed to be up here, but you decided that you're going to start from the top and sew it straight down, and it's a 1/2 inch off at the bottom, your pants are going to torque. They're going to do that horribly frustrating thing that we all hate in cheap pants, and they're going to torque around your leg, and you're constantly walking around like this. I have a pair of pants. I have one pair of ginger jeans that are torquing on the lower half of one leg, like below the knee, and I feel it every time I wear them. So, all right. So I kind of did the brief little thing. I hope that made sense. How you would raise your rise of your Hudson pants, any pants actually. You could just draw a parallel line if you want. I would. See how it goes. You don't have to go through all that. Just make sure that you're not changing your side seams from front to back from one to one another because of the torquing thing, and that you consider that your waist may taper a little bit. So, thank you, Patty. All right. We're good. We're good. Yeah, I think that's all I have for you guys today. So Saturday, we're going to sew these. I think I'm going to do it all in the serger. We almost got a cover stitch pocket, but they said no on the mods. Kind of relieved. Let's see here. I like this new packaging that Sonia has. It's really nice. Put my patterns away. All right, so we'll sew these on Saturday. This will be a pretty fast sew, especially since I'm not going to be doing the drawstring. But if you need that kind of tutorial, I do that on the Caroline Pajama Bottoms by Closet Case Patterns. It's an early stream. I've made those bottoms a couple times, but I'm pretty sure only the first time I made them on camera had the buttonholes with the draw cord. I can talk. I promise. Cool. So I'll also be uploading, or it's already uploaded, after the stream today. There's going to be a new video on how to serge elastic onto a waistband. So fast. That video was so fast I was like, ooh, I hope this is 10 minutes long. It is. It's like 13 minutes. I made my first trailer for it, and it's super awkward, but I'm going to still post it on Instagram. I'm learning how to make a trailer. I made the trailer really quickly, so I need to learn how to better make a trailer. Oh, and I have a question, kind of a favor to ask you guys. I've debated on whether I'm asked to ask you guys this, but if there's anyone that wanted to help me add timestamps to some of the videos I've made, I would really appreciate that. And I'll tell you, it's actually not hard, and it's very fast. So, and the process is like, I actually have been really enjoying doing it. It's actually not that hard. It's actually one of the techie things that I've done that's gone really well. And you don't have to do the techie side. I'm just wondering if I could, if anyone's interested, just email me at sosolive@gmail.com. It's just like, I'll shout you out or whatever you want, but it's just a helpful thing. It'd be really nice if more of the videos had some chapters and timestamps in it. And I'm just looking for you guys to write down the time and then say, this step happens. And you can sit there and go fast forward. Like, you can press the arrow button on your keyboard and just kind of jump through the video. And then you're like, okay, this is roughly right there. And because I'll double check it. So if you want to do that and I could tell you the videos I'm looking for, that would be really helpful. I never asked you guys for anything. So if you guys would help me out, I really appreciate it. And because that would help the searching for the videos. Anything that helps the videos helps you guys, because I'm literally just trying to keep this stream going and keep all of it going. I just really want to break even. So I'm really working hard on that. So, and I have a lot of videos. Lots. I don't want to do it to all of them. I just want to do it on some of the more popular things. So if anyone would be interested, just give me an email. And you can see what you think. But it is really, like, I do it and I just skip ahead. I sit there, skip. And I'm like, okay, attach the elastic to the waistband. Great, skip. Side seams. Okay, skip. It's just like that, you know? That's all I want. All right. Thank you. Thank you for considering it. All right. I will see you guys Saturday, 11 a.m. Pacific. Same time, same place. Happy sewing. I can't believe it's Thursday already. All right, Eliza. Okay, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm going to start looking, because, you know, there's some videos that do really, really well for some reason. So I'm not even sure I really need to do it on them. But there's a few I think have some really good, like, maybe nobody's going to watch the Upton dress, but there might be a really good, I don't know. I was about to say that would be a good one for an invisible zipper, but did I really do the invisible zipper good on that one? I don't know. I think I actually watched Angela Wolf's video for help on that, because I hardly ever do those, so. But there's a few I think that would be really helpful, so. It would be good. And I'm loving the timestamps myself, so. All right, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm trying to remember to say that as well if you want, and that really helps. This week has flown by. It has flown by. My friends I game with are accusing me of getting them all messed up on the day of the week all the time, too, because my Monday is Tuesday. Nice, Patty. Thank you. I appreciate that. Cool, Penny. All right. I'm trying to remember who's saying. What do I remember here? Let's see. Eliza and Penny. Okay. Thank you. I think I have both your emails. Cool. All right, guys. Happy sewing. Happy Friday. And check out that new video. It'll be up soon. So it's already up, but. I had two fun things to say. One thing, my internet got changed. And you guys, it's incredible. Like, he downgraded his plan, and when the tech did the speed test, he said, oh my gosh, your download is 800. And so he told me that, and I was like, that's not even possible. I did a speed test, and my download speed was 480. My upload was 125. I had just uploaded a video, and it took like a few minutes, and I was like, oh, dang, that video must be corrupted. That should have taken an hour to upload. No, it did it. And the other fun thing I wanted to say is, if you're a fan of AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she recently streamed on Twitch this really fun, like, Rock the Vote stream. It was a hoot. And she didn't know what she was doing. And people came together and made her a stream, got her going. And she played this really funny game called Among Us with really famous streamers. It was super fun. I highly recommend watching it and listening to it in the background. She plays with Ilhan Omar, and it was a delight. The whole thing was a delight, like, just fun to see someone, a congresswoman playing. So, okay, cool, Melinda. Thanks. Did you watch it too? It was so good. Yeah, that was so fun. It was just so great to see streamers that, I don't actually watch the streamers she plays with, but I follow a lot of them, and I have a lot of respect for a few of them. So that was really cool to see that they all came together, and they're like, how do we get this to happen? Like, the socially distanced way of getting her equipment, setting up her stream, setting up her thumbnails, setting up all of her, like, she looked so legit, and she had like 500,000 people or 400,000 people watching her. Any streamer would love that, right? She's had over 5 million views. Pretty cool. It happened in like 24 hours. It was fun. Anyway, that was just a fun thing I saw. And that game was kind of fun to watch. So, right, Michelle? I know. I know. Well, and toast too. Like they don't trust him. Oh, okay. That was fun. Anyway, I'll see you guys Saturday.